You're going to need a chair for this session. Hi, welcome, welcome. Come in. You're going to need a chair for this session, everyone. So go grab a chair or a stool and you'll come to sit up in front of the screen. I know it's unusual, isn't it? So it's kind of good to always start on time. Okay. So are we ready? Let's come to sit up on the chair, and you're going to sit on the front edge of the chair with your feet on the floor. Ideally, you've got no shoes on. um, Kind of always better to really feel what's happening through your feet. So if you can, kick your shoes off and come up to sit on your sit bones so that you're higher on your pelvis. So you're sitting upright on your pelvis, rather. And then just notice what it feels like to be you today. What's going on for you? Notice how you are physically, how you feel emotionally. And then take the back of the hands and just rest them on your sit bones. And just let your eyes close, let your lips stay together, but let your lower jaw drop away. And then just come into a really easy breath of inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the nostrils. And then from here, slowly open your eyes and then take your arms and cross them over at the front and grab and just place your hands. You're not grabbing, just place your hands on the side of your ribs, wherever they fall, and notice which arm is on the top. Yep. So just note which arm is on the top. I'm going to pull my hands out a bit so I'm not squishing them. And then from here, very slowly, could you round your back and just notice what happens underneath your hands and then come back up to your start position. So do that really slowly, rounding through your back, and your face turns downwards towards the floor. But of course, as you know now, it's a whole body movement, isn't it? The whole body is responding to the weight of your head going forwards, and you round your back. Now notice what happens in your pelvis as you do that. So that as you round your back, notice that your pelvis turns and you roll backwards on your sit bones. So you're rolling backwards on your sit bones and then you come back up again and you roll backwards on your sit bones and you roll back up again. And notice the transference of weight through your feet. So notice how your feet get heavy and then they lighten their load a bit. And just notice anything else. So your elbows go down, your ribs start to come together at the front, and the ribs move away from each other at the back. So notice all of that. Great. The next time you come back up, you're going to uncross your arms. Remember which one was on top. So my left one was on top, but maybe it's different for you. Let the back of your hands rest on your thighs. And just notice how that feels. Now, it might feel that you're nice and heavy in your seat without pushing, and it might feel that your spine feels really nice and long all the way up into your head. Notice what that's done to the length of your neck and the weight of each shoulder blade. And then take the other arm on top and cross your arms and have your hands somewhere on your ribs. And then do that again. But notice that it might feel different. So it might feel different on this side. And it might be that your feet increase in heaviness in a different way. So the transference of weight happens in a really different way. So notice that. Maybe it feels easier, smoother on this side with the arms crossed in a different way. Or maybe easier isn't the right word, just different. It doesn't have to be better. We don't have to rate it in those terms. Um, Maybe it just feels easier or more familiar. And you can do it with eyes closed, you can do it with eyes open if you like. Actually, let's all close our eyes and then notice what your eyeballs do. And as often happens, wherever you move their head, the eyeballs will travel there as well. So just notice that. Now notice what's happening at the back of your calves and behind your knees. So I can sense that a lot more with my arms crossed over on this side. I didn't sense the back of my calves, for instance, on the other side in quite the same way. So that's really interesting, isn't it? There's something about your how you organize yourself in space and how you hold the weight of you through your whole system. Something quite interesting about that. We don't really have to have the answer. It's kind of like it's too neat, isn't it, if we always had the answer? I don't really care about um why that is. I'm more interested in the quality of movement and can I refine my movement in such a way that this just I keep increasing my comfort and my ease. All right, next time you come up, let that go, let the back of the hands rest and just kind of note how you are. I'm always half dressed when I come onto these because I suddenly realize, oh, I just want to cover up a bit. And now notice how you sit. It might feel that the spine feels really long. There's something that's happened to my organization. My pelvis has rolled forwards a little bit in my seat, so it's really effortless to stay up. And then that just allows those curves of my spine to organize in such a way that I'm making very little effort to do it. So it's interesting, isn't it, how quite a small exploration can unpick so much. Um, and as I often say to people, it's only when you feel comfort that you realize you've been sitting in discomfort, possibly. So, this is such a good one if you sit all the time. Now, my preference is that you have more breaks, yeah, and you get up and you do other things and you intersperse your day with some movement. That's always better. But if you need to stay on a seat and you're going to be sitting for a long time, then and you can't get up for whatever reason, then this is a really good one to help organize you in seated. Or you could do it just before you come to sit for your next session of work. You could kind of organize yourself using this. So now go back to the one that was familiar, the one that you first chose, or whichever one you want. Yeah, whichever one you want. And then from here, you're going to very slightly turn your chest. So my knees and my pelvis stay forwards. It's not such a big turn that I'm creating some in the lower back. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to roll from the belly button up just a little bit towards my right. So remember, I'm opposite of you. Pelvis is forwards, knees are forwards. It's not such a strong rotation that I'm feeling a pinch in my lower back. I sort of come away from that pinchy movement And then from here, I'm going to roll down, still facing a little bit towards the right, and roll back up again. And I roll down. And I roll back up again. And just notice what's happened to the weight underneath you. So notice which sit bone is more weighted. Left one or right one? Your turn to the right. So as I go downwards, my left sit bone gets heavier and my right sit bone gets lighter. And interestingly, my right foot gets heavier and my left foot gets lighter. Now that could just be my specific patterns, but I think most of you will feel the opposite sit bone getting heavier. All right, from here, you're going to derotate, if that's even a word, and you're going to roll forwards again, so evenly. And just notice what that's done to your sit bones. And notice the weight transference of feet. As you come forwards, is it both feet a bit more evenly pressing into the floor? They're not pressing, they sort of get heavy, don't they? As the head comes forwards, the feet kind of go downwards, but I'm not consciously pressing. Pressing to me always means quite a conscious action. And then come back up and again have a little rest. Back of the hands on your thighs. Mm. Notice how that feels. Notice the length of your spine, the curves in your spine, and how your pelvis sits now. So my pelvis keeps rolling forwards a little bit more. So I'm not exactly on my sit bones. My sit bones have rolled backwards a bit, so I'm slightly forwards. And it feels lighter and I feel more upright. So sense if that you sense that as well for your system. What are the changes, or what are the changes for you? So back to your preferred crossing. So I kind of always think, don't make it tricksy. Don't try and challenge yourself. Just go to the one that feels good. And then from here, we're going to turn a little bit towards the left. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to roll and come back up. You're going to start to round rather, not roll. You're going to round. And notice what happens to the opposite sit bone. And notice what happens to the same foot, the opposite foot. Mm. And then when you come up, you're going to turn towards the front. And again, round forwards. And bring yourself back up. And notice if that's gotten more even, or if you notice that you're more evenly on right foot, left foot. And what breath do you take as you round? And what breath do you take as you come back upright? And could you try it so that you round on an exhale and you come back up on an inhale? Nice. And then the next time you come back up, let it go. Let your arms come down. Let your back of your hands rest on your thighs. And notice how you sit now. should feel much easier, perhaps more even across your pelvis. Nice and long through the spine so you're not slumping into your lower back. Everyone good? Do you want to leave me a comment on how you feel? It's a really useful one if you've been, yeah, if you're sitting and just to kind of resolve how to sit. And if you can, do come and sit on the edge of your chair when you're doing your work. So I always tend to try and sit on the edge of my chair so that the pelvis and the rest of the spine can organize itself. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. And I will see you again next week. Take care. Bye.